Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to my story adventure. It's me, DemiLu. Don't forget to subscribe. The Smart Cookie by Jory John and Pete Oswald. Greetings. I'm a cookie. I live in a bakery on a street corner near a river. Come on in. Welcome to our little community. It's a warm and supportive place to spend some time. Pretty fantastic, eh? These days, life is sweet, but my journey wasn't always a cakewalk. When I was younger, I couldn't have imagined fitting in here. And for a really long time, I didn't feel comfortable speaking up or sharing my ideas. I didn't feel like a smart cookie. I wanted to be a cookie who knew all the answers, a cookie who felt confident in a group, a cookie who said, aha, when solving a puzzle. Like this, aha! Looking back, I had some trouble in my early days. You see, I went to a school in a gingerbread house. Our teacher, Miss Spaghetti, was very kind and very patient. And when I arrived each morning, she waved at me and smiled and said, "Hello, Cookie, how are you today?" "I'm doing just fine." But I didn't get the best grades, and I never raised my hand because I couldn't think of the answers as fast as the others. And I was the last to finish most tests. It wasn't because I didn't care, and it definitely wasn't because I didn't try. Sometimes I'd get distracted and mess up, even though I knew the material. Those were the most frustrating moments of all. Once, I misspelled the word dough. That was rough. And another time, I added when I meant to subtract. Whew, that was also tough. And occasionally, we'd have a lesson where I had absolutely no idea what was happening. I just couldn't keep up, so once I imagined that my desk was a raft and that I was completely lost at sea, because that's what it felt like. I felt lost. At night, I slept in a cookie jar. I had about 6 dozen roommates. And although I was really crammed in this small cookie jar, I'd stay awake and stare out the window and worry. And it went like this, day after day after day. But then something happened that changed everything. It all started with a homework assignment. Miss Spaghetti requested our attention one afternoon. "Excuse me, class, excuse me. Tonight, I would like you to create something completely original," she announced. "It could be anything you want, but please bring it to class tomorrow." And that was it. There were no further instructions. Miss Spaghetti winked at me as I gathered my belongings. I felt like I had a million butterflies in my stomach. Create anything? Something original? Due tomorrow? Oh boy, I thought, I'm really in trouble now. But when I got home, I immediately went to work. At first, I tried a cooking project. The results were half-baked. And the next time, I tried to hammer a nail into something, and it splintered immediately. And then I tried making a sculpture. It was a complete bust. I wondered if I was about to fail yet another assignment. I was stuck. I felt stuck. I just didn't know what to do. So I stared out the window and watched the rain hit the river. There was something mesmerizing about the water, how it moved in such a chaotic way, swirling around and around, yet ultimately figuring out exactly where it needed to go. And then all of a sudden, I had an idea. I decided to write something original, a poem. I came up with the title based on how I'd been feeling my crummy days. After that, the rest of it seemed to fall into place. So I wrote and I wrote. I lost track of time, and an hour went by in a flash. I was still writing. Aha, I said when I finished. I couldn't sleep that night, but it wasn't because I was worried. It was because I was excited. I felt like I had really accomplished something. I felt smart. The following day, Miss Bugatti asked for volunteers to share what we created. One kid showed off his original frosting art, and I thought that was really cool. And another kid revealed her sprinkle distributing machine, which I thought was totally awesome. It was really neat seeing how everyone was good at such different things, including chemistry and math. Finally, Miss Bugatti turned to me and said, "Would you like to share anything?" Gulp, I thought. I thought I'd probably crumble under the pressure. But I made my way to the front of the classroom, and there I noticed that my hands were shaking. My mouth went very, very dry. Excuse me. This poem is called My Crummy Days. As my voice began to crack, and I then read it aloud. As I spoke, I noticed some kids were nodding at certain lines, and other kids laughed at the parts that were supposed to be funny. As I built toward the finale, I felt myself becoming more confident and animated. And in the end, everybody clapped and cheered. I promise you this, I'll never, ever forget it. Miss Bugatti was beaming. "No one but you could have written such poem," she said. "It was completely original." Aha! I had done it. I'd created something and shared it with the world. Well, my world, at least. The rest of the day was a blur. By recess, I was already planning my next poem. I would call it My Sweet Morning. Aha, I thought when I came up with the title. Later that afternoon, Miss Bugatti handed me a note. It said that I should keep on writing no matter what. That meant so much to me, and I really felt smart. School was a bit different after that. I wasn't so scared to raise my hand or ask a question or to share my work. Sure, some things still didn't always come easily for me as they did for others. But now I know that you can be smart in many different ways. You don't have to have the answers to every question or suddenly be great at everything all the time. You just need a chance to try all kinds of things to find out who you are and what you like. And as for me, I learned that I can write and I can think of great ideas. And I found plenty of other things that I'm good at too. I no longer feel lost at sea, and it's more like floating down a river. And the best part is, there's always room to learn, because we're all smart cookies. And so welcome to Poetry Night. I'd like to read a poem by me, the Smart Cookie.